Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Broadway Jets YouTube channel. You'll know me from Twitter as NYJ Mike. I'm joined as always by the master of receipts, NYJ Matt. Matt, the Jets fall to 1-3. They lose a really tough game against the Kansas City Chiefs. Zach Wilson had probably his best performance that we've ever seen, and the referees dicked us. They dirty dicked us, right? Just brutal.
Yeah,
Brutal.
we won't spend the entire time talking about the referees. We've been through it on Twitter. We all know it, but we need to talk about it for a little bit, and then we'll get back into the actual game and the positives, where we can go next. But when you get the ball, or when Zach fumbles and the Chiefs have 7:30 left on the clock at midfield, at no point do you think you're not going to touch the football again.
It's impossible. It's impossible. And there's no way to do it statistically. Unless there's a
It's
thousand penalties.
And the clear ones, the intentional grounding, I think was a fine call. I don't even care about that not being called.
You texted me because you were at the game and I couldn't go. And you were like, "Is that look okay?" I thought it was fine. He threw it at the guy. That's not intentional grounding.
Yeah, and then the holds on Jermaine Johnson, you made a good point when we talked. It's missed calls, but at least you're not calling it that then is going to impact the outcome of the game. And look, you can argue that like on the play, Jermaine Johnson not gave up, but was saying this is a clear hold and didn't keep going, which maybe would have made the hold happen more.
Yeah, the one
But
clip of him like backwards to Mahomes is tough.
yeah, and then Mahomes kept scrambling, kept getting first downs, and then the clear missed call, which Frank Steratore, the referee, an abysmal call. It doesn't just impact a play; it impacts a game, a season, 80,000 people that went to the game, 1.8 million people watching. It impacts so
People's
many.
jobs. It's not
It
right. And Matt, it's 2 years in a row. It's 2 years in a row of just brutal, unnecessary calls that, like you said, change outcomes of everything. It changes the history of the sport. It really does. Because think about it. Last year, the Michael Carter pick six against the Patriots, the Jets most likely win that game. You're up what 17-3 if that play stands, and it didn't have any impact on the play. And that play is more impactful because he actually scored. And on this play, the Jets still would have been down by 3 and had to go score, but at least you have a chance. It's just, and those are brutal. That's a divisional game. This is a AFC powerhouse. The Jets could be 2-2 after beating the Bills and the Chiefs. And I said it to you before, and it's such a sad, defeated feeling because you do all that you follow the team and you love the game of football and you love your team and it's exciting and it's fun, but it takes the fun out of it when there's a third party that just doesn't need to be there, that just messes up outcomes of games. And it happens way too much in football, and I've said this all the time. It's not just a Jets thing. If the Giants lose on a bad call, I'm happy, but it's just wrong for the sport. It's not right. And it's like if you this is why I realize now when people get divorced, what it must feel like, because you love something so much, but then something about that thing bothers you so much that you can't be with that person or thing anymore. And it's like, I'm not going to give up watching football, but it's like when that happens, it just takes you out of it. And it's not right. It's unjust. It's sick. It's disgusting. And it's just, I can't say enough about it.
The divorce analogy is a good one, and I was thinking of an analogy. It's like I don't love my friends that complain about their girlfriends nonstop, and that's how I feel fans that always complain about the refs come off, and I don't love doing that. But what if your friend, his girlfriend, like fucks his best friend? Like you can complain about it. Like you can if that game is like being cucked, and we got cucked on national television, and you
Yep.
have a right to complain and be mad about it. But it really didn't feel like it was always this way. And what I mean by that is I look back to like 2008, 2012, 2011. There was always bad and good calls, but I never felt like it changed the outcome of the game. It felt like there was maybe 8 flags at a bad day for your
Yeah.
team.
Just keep
And
the flag in your fucking pocket. And again, that's what we talked about before. I'm not as upset with the non-holding call on Jermaine Johnson because he didn't throw the flag. And it was a stupid missed call, but fine. never throw a flag unless someone fucking mugs the other guy. If there's a mugging, or like the Rams Saints play a couple years in the NFC Championship game, like that's obviously an insane missed call in the pass interference. But like that should be the only time pass interference is called, when a guy murders the other guy before the ball gets there. The Bills Dolphins game I was watching, the Bills are up 21-14. They throw a bomb, like minuscule contact, flag, 45-yard penalty, ruins the game. It changes everything. And this one's way worse. You don't get the fucking ball back. And of course, the thing that people are more pissed about is that they didn't call the holding against Jermaine Johnson, and then they do call the holding against Sauce. So at least be consistent, you know. And
And
one more thing,
yeah.
I almost texted you. I swear to God, I told you this before that sequence, and I was like, dude, I think the refs this year, and except for the Cowboys, like the second quarter of the Cowboys game, I thought the refs this year have been pretty good with not calling stupid shit. Holy shit. Keep the flag in your pocket. What is the point? And then you throw it 10 minutes late. Oh, I can't even like.
But in everything in life, in every job you're in, one person can cause a unbelievable impact. And the reason you have 9 field judges is you can come together and agree, like, hey, we can't call that there. And there should be call a challenge flag, whatever. There should be one like green flag that every coach has that you can use one time per game. That is reasonability review. You have to figure that out. And that would have saved so many plays. And even though it's a holding call and it was 5 yards, it obviously negates an interception.
And it's
It
third and
shouldn't be a
20.
spot fault. Yeah, it shouldn't
Third
be a
and
spot
20.
foul
What the
for
fuck? Like, why are you like, as an official, your job is to make sure the game is played smoothly, fairly, and the rules are followed. That's what it is. It's third and 20. You don't gift this fucking maniac another first down, especially after that stupid shit holding, non-holding call the play before. You just can't do it. And I don't know how the NFL doesn't realize this. It's complained about, I think, more than any sport. Maybe the NBA officials get it a lot too, because they call 1,000 fouls. But MLB wants robot umps, whatever. You know, those guys, that's a tough job there, and they're not. It's not just like a
but
bang bang play that changes the whole game. Like this,
can we just go back and look at, like, if you want to call roughing the passers and protect the quarterback that are billion-dollar assets to the
at least that
franchise,
makes sense.
yeah, exactly. I don't care if wide receiver number 3 gets his arm pushed a little bit. Find out what worked in 2018, find out what worked in 2019, and go back to it.
Yeah.
And the last thing we'll say in the refs, because we've talked about the refs a lot. If you are here, don't forget, hit subscribe, hit like. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. The problem with the referees, as I said, one guy can change the outcome of an entire season. Robert Saleh could, if he's 2-2 and they string together a good like 9-8 year, maybe a little better. If you're 1-3 and then you can't get Denver and you lose to Philly, like Robert Saleh could lose his job outside of one game, and it's very dramatic. And I know that sounds insane,
It's
but
not
there's
dramatic.
a
This is
butterfly
football.
effect.
This is football where you play a 17-game season, and you call, and you have a officiating crew. It's calling a normal game for 3.5 quarters, and you just fucking throw that flag. I can't. It makes me sick. It really, like, I was so like seeing
I,
red. Like, I can't even believe how
I
mad I
was
am.
rooting for it to be a hold live because, for example, like you're giving me the flag no matter what. The flag is
Yeah,
on the field. I'd rather Sauce have murdered that guy where I'm like, all right, like I would have preferred for it to actually be a hold,
yeah.
obviously, than it to be garbage. And the big thing about it was a late flag thrown. So they
Dude, I
wait
thought
for Carter to
to pick it.
literally pick it, and then they throw the flag.
I said, dude,
There's
I thought the flag was fucking like a
on the
block in the
return.
back on the return. I swear to God, I'm not even joking. I really thought they called a block in the back, whoever was blocking for Michael Carter returning the interception.
No,
It's not right.
Frank's territory is a name I'm going to remember for a long time. It truly took away a magical game from the comeback, and we'll start talking about the actual game now, because when they're down 17-0 and the Pacheco run, where there was also like a weird holding they didn't call. I think it was Trey Smith or someone on the Kansas City offensive line. They've been tweeting out the video the past hour. So they get the long touchdown run. They got the field goal first, touchdown run, then the touchdown, and then in 9 minutes you're down 17-0. And I look over to my buddy, I'm like, hey, this might be a 34-3 leaving the third quarter game.
Right,
And
because the Jets
credit
also
to
17-0, and
yeah,
the Chiefs have the ball.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. And then we get the safety. And this is where Zach comes into play. And you got to give him his flowers. We've not been the biggest supporters of Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson, the guy, we love him. even the thing last year, I think is very overrated what happened at the Patriot game. And I've talked so many times about how he loved to stay neutral. It wasn't always on him. When he had a great game, he'd be like, no, it's a team effort. When they had a bad game, it's team effort. Did he handle that pressure great? No. But that was just one small slip up. And people were like, oh, now he's showing to be a leader. Nothing's changed, in my opinion, from him off the field. What changed is on the field. And the way he played for about 3.5 quarters was inspiring. You could see him actually be an NFL quarterback, live arm, moved out of the pocket, made throws he wasn't afraid of. And I have a lot of thoughts about Zach's performance, but I'll let you go first and take me through what you saw on the broadcast.
I didn't know that Zach Wilson could literally do that. Seriously, because that was my problem. What we've been saying is we want a guy who can complete a high percentage of passes, make the normal throws, whatever. He was, first of all, terrific, way more than that. And we've been saying on this show for this year, since his downfall last year, that we need a professional quarterback. And he was that and more yesterday. I swear to God, I didn't think he could go 28 for 37 in a game. I didn't think so. And he was unbelievable, crisp. And he missed a couple throws, maybe like Conklin could have probably caught that ball in the end zone when Wilson got out of evaded pressure. He missed Garrett Wilson down the right sideline, but that was a pretty good throw. That had to be a perfect, beautiful rope dart. Michael Carter dropped the ball. So I was blown away with his performance. You know, he had the fumble at the end, but you can make one mistake in a game. You know, you drop a snap that doesn't just the Chiefs got lucky. They were blitzing two guys up the middle and he fell directly on the ball. I probably would have just recovered it. I was very happy. I wasn't expecting to feel like I'm okay with Zach Wilson starting in Denver, and I am. You have to. I mean, of course, after that game, you have to. That's what he had to do.
And he does need to build out the sample size more, right? Because you could revert to bad habits and play Denver on the road in the altitude, who is a team that had a big comeback win. And then you have Philadelphia clearly at home. The reason I really like Zach's performance is from the moment he was on the field, I just felt like something was different and it was clicking and back shoulder throws and moving out of the pocket, throwing darts. And he did miss Carter for a would-be touchdown. He did miss Breece Hall on a huge conversion that would have led to a first down and probably more.
And you're talking misses, and he just didn't throw it to the guy.
He didn't throw it to him. And again, as someone in the 300s, and when you look at the next-gen stats, yeah, maybe that's his third read, and he liked the second read and went there. So I'm not going to kill him for that at all. The 2-point conversion, Mike, was a ballsy run where he makes two people miss. He looked, I mean, maybe 5 quarterbacks in the NFL can escape that pocket, and he did it and got a huge 2-point conversion. And the fumble sucks, and that happens. And he just didn't have a chance to redeem it, which isn't his fault. It's the referees and the defense.
48-yard line, 7 minutes go off the clock. Can't happen. The fucking the offensive line, man, I thought played great. That was the best pass blocking I saw from the Jets in like years.
Now people and again, I'm at the game, right? And I'm seeing like not a lot of pressure coming up the middle. So I thought Timmon would grade out well, and he did again. Tomlinson. A lot of people on Twitter early on were talking about Becton. Did you see anything that was maybe Becton wasn't having a good first half and picked it up? I didn't notice it live, but people were tweeting at me.
It's interesting because I'm trying to think at the first couple of drives where the Jets went 3 and out. Did they go 3 and out twice? Maybe they got a first down or two the next drive and got stopped.
I think Breece Hall had like a 12-yard run on the second drive.
Yeah, and they got stopped. I mean, specifically, no. It felt like watching Zach stand behind a wall, and he had to, like, the Uzama touchdown stands out to me where Zach had time to do a fake counter, do some fancy play action, wait another second, and then throw the ball to Uzama from the 1-yard line. You know, plays like that where the Jets line is not being moved backwards. It felt good. It felt like the Jets were going to score finally for the first time. You're right. That's what it felt different. For the first time since maybe the end of Zach's rookie year, it felt like good things were going to happen on offense when he was playing quarterback.
And the one thing that I'm sticking on Zach because there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Sal on the K show today brought up, like Hackett and Downing are still getting comfortable with Zach and what he likes and what he doesn't like. And that stands out and bothers me because you build your offense around Rodgers, I get it. But it shouldn't be this week 4 when you had a winnable game against the Patriots this is what he likes to do. And the way I look at it is, play boring games, win boring prizes. If you want to play the Patriots and be boring and say, we're just not going to turn over the football, we're going to do X, Y, and Z, and you run the ball for like 2.8 yards per carry, you keep telling Zach, don't turn the ball over, just be a game manager, and you end up losing those games. Now you look at what his strengths are: is moving out of the pocket, having a live arm, being able to and maybe Zach hasn't earned the right to do that, but I can't help think of what if you just even in a rainy day made Zach get out of the pocket more, do some cooler things, and then do
Yeah,
you win that game against New England?
like they should have, but it goes back for me to the quote unquote excuse that Hackett's been making that people don't like, where the Jets haven't had the ball a lot, which is I blame the offense more than the defense, which I think
Yep.
Hackett is not. He's saying the same thing, just that they can't get first downs. Something changed. Like looking back, I've never been more fed up with a quarterback in our time than Zach Wilson. I thought he was not professional. Again, I'm being dead serious. I didn't think he had this in him
On the
to
field, you just
on
didn't
the
think he
field.
could. Yeah,
I didn't think he could literally go 28 for 37. Seriously. And you tweet out the stat what he has 26 games. He has over 63% completion in like 3 of them.
yeah.
So, and this is the easiest league the easiest time in the history of the league, of course, to complete passes. And we see Josh Dobbs come in and go 18 for 22, and Gardner Minshew, and Sam Howell is 28 for 35, and yada yada yada. And Zach Wilson goes out there and is 14 for 31 with 122 yards. I think it's a little bit deeper than Hackett than everything, but something clicked, and the game plan was better. The offensive line was better. The Jets were able to run the ball a little bit. I am impressed, Matt, that Zach was able to do a lot of what he did coming down from 17-0 because you're
Yeah.
not relying on a run game. But I agree with you. Figure it out. Yeah. Oh, we're getting comfortable with Zach. It's comfortable. What? Throwing a 5-yard pass? Throw a fucking screen. I don't know. It's not like.
Yeah, and they came out gunning on first down a lot of times. Once they got that first down, let's run the
Yeah.
ball. Brees had 6 for 56 on the game. Cook again doesn't feel like he has any burst, or maybe it's weird. Sometimes I get mad about it, and then I look at the replay like he literally couldn't go anywhere. So the
Can
Cook
can
thing,
Breeze have more carries though? Why does Michael Carter have to play so much? No offense, and I like Michael Carter a lot, but you again as Robert Saleh are in a must-win season. You are because if I don't think the Jets are going to fire Saleh if they're like 7-10. I don't. But if you're 4-13, he can get canned. I don't know if they want to piss off Rodgers, whatever. Play your guy. What are you doing? Play the guy.
I
Play him a lot.
I just feel like Michael Carter was out there a little bit more on passing downs. He had 1 carry for 9 yards, and you're right, he had
It's
3
the
targets.
Yeah, it's the he's a 2-minute drill running back. He's the best pass blocker probably they have. That's why they're doing it. But you have to be so I don't know. It feels like inflexible sometimes the way Salah does things, and a little bit too. And you like to get everyone involved. I don't think those are crazy things, but Brees Hall should touch the ball a lot. You know,
Yeah, and a huge storyline for me is you gave Garrett Wilson 14 targets, which
love
I
that.
think the Jets
Right,
needed to
do that
do
with Brees.
and the Jets needed to do it for Garrett Wilson for multiple reasons. I really think if yesterday ended up being a 34-3, Garrett Wilson has 3 catches for 28 yards, we're staring down the barrel of I think Garrett's a lot different than the past receivers that had requested trades. But I just didn't want a scenario where you have a blue chip talent be frustrated. And I mean, how can you be frustrated? 9 for 60 with 14 targets is pretty damn cool in an NFL game.
And dude,
And it
we
could have
are
been bigger, right? Could have been
we're
bigger on
very
that play.
oh yeah, yeah. It could have. You could have broke away. You were saying from your seats, right? Which one?
There was one over the middle that Zach just threw a little behind, and that was an incomplete pass. But the one I'm
I
talking
think it
about
was
is
at the end of the first half, right after
yeah,
Mahomes threw his second stupid interception. Ashton Davis is a better player than Patrick Mahomes. Dude, Garrett Wilson is just so good. The catches that he made, the play he made on the sideline is ridiculous. When he catches it with his fingertips, puts his knee in bounds. The catch he made on a third down on a low ball in the second half, gorgeous, clutch. Like, what a real true number one guy. Really, really just, and we're so tainted from Jamal Adams and Elijah Moore that we think everyone's going to request a trade.
which is really a
Denzel
fucked up
Mims.
way to live.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anything else on the offense before we jump over to the defense? Obviously, the tight ends got a little more active. Rucker played. Nanny had a
Yeah.
tweet that Rucker, when he was on the field, more yards per play. I tweeted out that Uzama scored a touchdown and yelled in the camera to bring me Michael Nania. But I was
You just want to see Brees and Dalvin get more carries. I'm still not off the Dalvin Cook train. I know everyone is even it's 4 weeks is not such a small sample size. It's a quarter of the season, and he's looked horrific. But everyone loves to immediately just jump off the ship of player stock, which I get. He's older. You could give more carries to Brees, but it's Brees Hall's averaging 6.6 yards a carry. Run him more. That would be my thing. I thought the game plan was nice, though. I'm happy Zach threw the ball. A lot of short passes. Just felt like real offense. It was like watching normal offense.
I thought Zach was going to throw the ball 50 plus times, and he probably would have if they actually had the ball in the fourth quarter at any point.
They had to.
It was awesome to watch. You would assume he'd have like 24 attempts and he had that in the first half, and that was again seeing that in the crowd and a lot of red in the stands. Yeah,
stupid Taylor Swift bullshit. She looks like a piece of plywood, and she makes mediocre music. And I'm sick of hearing about it. It's so annoying. It's the fourth quarter. It's 20-20, and they're talking about her followers and Travis Kelce's followers. Shut the fuck up. And then they're tweeting. They're posting on Instagram that the NFL Instagram is posting that the Chiefs are 2-0 as Swifties after they make that disgusting call. Get out of my face. The NFL is sickening. It's really sickening already. Garbage. But we'll have to overcome and beat everyone's ass, and it'll be more satisfying. But the other two things, Matt, that I wanted to talk about from the game.
Can I talk about Taylor Swift for one moment? One moment, Taylor Swift.
What is it?
I think people that talked on Twitter about, I'm so sad she's going to be there because we're going to be embarrassed in front of more people. The softest people on the planet. Truly the softest people on the planet. I need to get that out there. If you're afraid of Taylor Swift, yeah, she's one of the most famous people that are walking on the earth right now. If 100,000 more fans watch the game, take any of those girls that are probably like 18 years old and say, what do you think about the Jets? All of them would be like, I think they're pretty bad at football. And if they were to get killed, their opinion changes nothing. And they end up playing great. Maybe that core is like, oh, the Jets are just as good as Mahomes and the Chiefs. So that
is like 100,000 new fans that think that Zach Wilson's better than Patrick Mahomes.
I think Drew from New Jersey had that point. And
he said it, yeah.
It's very true. And the last thing
there was a stat that Zach Wilson is the first quarterback. I think it's to have more completions, more touchdowns, and less interceptions than Mahomes in the same game.
Yeah,
something like that. Crazy. I mean, that's insane. Mahomes was great. He played like shit. The Jets' defense was great.
The last thing on Taylor Swift, real quick. Wait, I'm trying to make sure I get this talking point down. I really wanted to bring up. Oh, the broadcast itself. Obviously, at the game, they have a celebrity cam, and they show the guy from Succession. They show JB Smoot, and they're showing all these celebrities, and they just refuse to show Taylor Swift the entire time, which I really appreciated.
Dude, that's very smart. But two things I want to talk about. One, the field goal at the end of the first half. The Jets are down 20-12. You have the ball on the Chiefs. Let's call it the 35-yard line.
Yeah.
4th and 2. The Jets kick a 52-yard field goal. What were your thoughts?
So at that
31
time,
seconds, that's 2 timeouts.
At the time, it's 17-20
to 12.
It's 20-12. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was 17-12. Gun to head in the moment, I'm thinking you go for it here because if you kick a field goal and miss it, you're giving Mahomes a short field anyway. If you go for it and don't get it, you're giving Mahomes a short field anyway. And I thought even if you get the field goal, you give him 35 seconds and they get the ball to 25 and they have 3 times. I go, the Chiefs literally might score a field goal anyway. So maybe be a little aggressive there. And it was one of the things that I wasn't happy about. It wasn't like I was going to kill Saul for it. And then his reasoning after the game, I think, is sound of, hey, look, we have 35 seconds left. Even though we have 3 timeouts, we're probably kicking a field goal anyway there. So so that I'm not going to kill him for it. I do get why people want him to be a little more aggressive because you are playing Patrick Mahomes, but it's not a big deal for me moving forward.
Yeah, I said, first of all, I love Sal's game management. I think he's aggressive at the right time, and I think he is conservative at the right time. I said before I would have kicked it. Jets get the ball at the half. And for the
you were on a delay.
I know that he already missed it by the time I was making this point, probably.
You made the point to me, and you're like, I love going for you have to kick a field goal. And it was like 30 seconds after he already missed the kick.
Yeah, I texted my buddy too. He's like, "Did you see what happened?" I was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
But so you have Zerline is an All-Pro type kicker. And Salah's reasoning is so sound. That was the whole point. Is if what are the odds you actually score a touchdown anyway? So what you're gonna risk not kicking a field goal to then waste 15 more seconds to kick a field goal? I don't know. I was happy with the decision, and then you get the ball to half. You're down by 5. Would have been change the game. Um, and then the other point I wanted to bring up, Matt, which is more of a point and not a question, is just I think the really huge turning point in the game was the flag after the Brees run, which is annoying that Conklin tripped, the illegal man downfield on McGovern.
Yeah.
And also AVT was standing next to him, so it was either one of them. But that just wiped away momentum because like the drives in the second half felt good, but you just didn't get any points after. You only had 2 drives after the beautiful drive by Zach.
Best
So
drive as a Jet. And you're right. That's a huge turning point in the game. People looked at that and the Carter drop. The McGovern illegal man downfield was way worse than the Carter drop. Way
yeah,
worse. So I don't think that's much of a comparison.
because you
Also,
could score a touchdown there. You're again for the same reasons why
yeah.
you probably don't score a touchdown. What we just talked about, it's tough to score at the end of the half with the Carter drop.
What do we think about our guy Connor Hughes with a brutal tweet about how
What do you
he's
say? See,
oh my god, he goes,
really? You actually made that tweet?
he goes, I just watched the replay. Salah's furious at the ref, but it was a hold on Sauce
Oh
Gardner.
no, it
And
wasn't.
and then so wait, so I look at the tweet. It was up for like a minute. Had like 900 replies and like 1 like. And then I
Did
quote
you
tweet.
screenshot it?
Oh, yeah, I have it. I quote tweeted it. And I was like, Connor, if you think that's a flag, there's literally a flag on every single play in the NFL. And then
Yeah.
immediately I got like 1,000 likes in the tweet. So then poor Connor. And I'm a Connor guy. I like Connor. Connor comes back a minute later and goes, I watched the replay twice. Not a hold. And then went on
No.
to say, he goes, it was a brutal call. And I'm like, here's the thing. I'm fine if he goes, hey, I saw it for quickly. It's definitely not a good call. To go from it is automatic, definitely a hold to it was a brutal call is a big leap from our boy.
It's a
A
big
big leap.
change. Big change.
I like Connor. No,
Oh,
he's
that's great. That helps
and all
that helps your ridiculous feud.
dude, the what was he cooking parlay?
Oh, it hit. Come on.
It hit.
Dude, once the Lazard touchdown hit, I got like 50 texts. They're like,
Dude,
it
I
was a
called the
Met
shot
parlay.
too. In the parking lot, I said, I think I tweeted out, I said, this is hitting tonight. And my thought process, I really was on Mahomes. I went golfing in the morning. I'm like, Mahomes going to throw a dumb pick tonight. Weirdly, like
You said
Josh
it 1,000
Allen.
times, by the way.
I don't know why I kept saying he was going to do it. And then I go, the Chiefs are going to have a lot of points. We're going to have to throw. Zach's going to stumble into 200 yards. And then for some reason, like Lazard first touchdown. And it hit with like 10 minutes left in the third.
Yeah.
And our buddy Andrew's next to us freaking out for me. And I was, for no reason, I wasn't celebrating. I kept doing like the Jordan shrug. And I was just looking around people. I was like, yeah. And I was just like being such a cocky asshole about this dumb bet that hit. But yeah, it was a nice 650 payout.
Is that the first one? No, one hit last year.
The 2,500 Garrett Wilson one hit.
Oh, yes, the Steelers.
Which that was the Browns game.
Oh, the crazy Browns game. Yeah.
But my favorite part about it is now I can tweet. Before that hit yesterday, I would have to lose every single one until 2029 to break even. So I kept saying like I'm 1 for 18, but I'm plus 91 units because hitting one bet forever just I can go into like 2032 with losing and still break even.
This is
But
very
yeah,
healthy to have you have, Matt. This is great.
on to the defense. We've been going for 30 minutes and didn't talk about the defense at all.
Yeah.
Horrific, like first 8 minutes of the game. Very not fun. And then they give up 6 points in the next like 38 minutes of game time. Longer.
It's so impressive, Matt. And the pass rush was good. It was good, not great, but the Chiefs have a very good offensive line, especially interior wise. It's terrific. I mean, Thuney, Humphrey, and Trey Smith is great. And then they did a pretty good job on Kelsey. He had the 2 catches to start the game, then he didn't catch a ball to the fourth quarter. Quincy Williams is everywhere. I noticed just watching the game, Quentin Jefferson is just all over, is like an absolute psycho. I said he's my front runner for the annual Harvey Lange Psychopath of the Year award, which is a huge
Naturally.
honor. Former winners include Quincy Williams, Frankie Louvu, Harvey Lange, maybe one more. I think Quan was in the mix last year, but maybe Quincy won.
It's always
But
like the insane vet linebacker that they sign.
yeah, but dude, I mean, the drop picks are obnoxious. Mosley dropped one, obviously got one. Um, Michael Carter got his hands on another one. He should have
Yeah.
had another one. But dude, the defense was everywhere, flying around. The DJ replay where he ran past Mahomes is hilarious.
Dude,
what if he hit him? He would have like died. I don't know. He was running so fast.
if they would have won that game, there'd be so much great from it. And again, even if they lost, if they got the ball back 23-20 and they just
Don't
threw a
score.
pick, I would just like that was a fucking awesome game. It just wasn't meant to be. And just having that taken from us is obviously horrifying. But the DJ replay, I saw it live and I was like, why didn't you just tackle him? I was like, all right, maybe that looked weird from my angle. And then I looked
Mahomes
at the
didn't do
broadcast.
anything. Dude, there's a funny thing in Family Guy Star Wars. They do like the Star Wars thing. And the whole move, he just goes, they're listing lazily to the left. And like they just slightly move to the left and they can't catch up with them. I'm like, dude, that's what Mahomes did. He just really he didn't even sidestep. He just like moved his arm and Reed went flying by. I thought he was gonna kill him. I thought he was gonna murder Mahomes from on TV. Because you saw him coming from a mile away. And then he flew by him.
The pass rush was good. It wasn't existent on the first 2 drives, 3. It just wasn't there in the first quarter. And then I did feel like we had that. Not only we had pressure at the right time. I felt like when they had 2nd and 5, we pushed them back. When we have a 3rd down, we got pressure. It was just very frustrating where there's one conversion they had that DJ Reed was late to get over, and they did like a quick out route.
It was a miscommunication.
It was miscommunication. You saw it from a mile away. At least in the 300, you could see he was late to get over. If he was fine,
him and Bryce Hall switched guys, and it was late. That's what happened.
Late, and then just there's like it. Honestly, I didn't watch the highlights of the game because I was so sad. My favorite thing ever was when I'm at a game, I'll come home and immediately watch like the 15-minute recap because I want to see what it looks like on broadcast. It felt like every time we had a huge, at least in the second half, 3rd down stop coming, he would just run for a 1st down. Maybe it only happened like twice, but it just felt like
happened. It happened twice, and then it happened the 3rd time I got called back from a penalty, and then it happened then he got the one to ice the game. And he's doing what a douchebag! Oh, like throws his hands up at the end. Fuck you! You got 17 calls in the same drive and clear bullshit. I mean, obviously he's gonna celebrate, but it's like, obnoxious.
Quincy is so good, like you said.
Quincy so good. But can we play one complete game? You know, the most complete game the Jets defense played from start to finish. 2 games come to mind. One is the punt return touchdown loss against the Patriots last year was just unbelievable. They played their asses off. And the Packers game, like start to finish. We cannot 10-0 every week is getting obnoxious with Salah. I think the Jets have been down 10-0 in every game. Right? Buffalo, the Cowboys for sure. The Patriots, every game, 10-0. You can't, and of course that's partially on the offense too. But
that's a good tweet. You should send that out. That
Yeah.
They've started every game down 10-0.
It's frustrating.
It is frustrating. I got grilled on Twitter for saying that I've seen 7,000 12-year-olds wearing Patrick Mahomes jerseys. That they're all front-running losers. And it's so funny because as soon as I tweet out, I'll probably get some people mad. Here's my take. The guy 2 rows in front of us to the right, Jet fan, and he was on Hinge the entire night. Like his phone he was on Hinge and just swiping. And he's wearing a Jets gear, and he has 2 kids next to him, presumably his sons from a divorced. I mean, he's definitely not with his wife anymore. He's on Hinge. And they're both one's wearing a Pacheco jersey, and one's wearing a Mahomes jersey, and the Mahomes one has a Yankee hat on.
Oh.
And I'm like, I just think about it. And then I made the point. Someone's like, why would you want them to root for the Jets? They suck, and you want a life of misery. And I'm like, all right,
You
you know what?
don't know what's gonna happen.
No,
Fucking
but Mike, just make it a 5-team league, right? Do the Cowboys, Chiefs, 49ers, Bills, and another great team I'm forgetting. Just do Eagles. Do 5 teams, all that are great. And if
yeah,
everyone doesn't become a fan of their local team at some point, they're never going to have a local team. Like
dude.
you
Yeah,
build, and if you're a Giant fan, fine. Even if you're an Eagle fan and grew up in South Jersey, of course. If
it's
your
normal.
family moved from Texas and your grandfather's a diehard Cowboys fan, be a Cowboys fan. There can't be that many fucking Mahomes fans in Central New Jersey. I
Why
can't
why
deal with
isn't
it.
this guy? Why isn't he a Bears fan? And that's like a historic franchise. Why isn't he a Texans fan? Now, when CJ Stroud becomes great, oh, yeah, CJ Stroud jersey. Fuck off. Seriously, you're 100% right. It's sickening. It's
I'm
just
happy
loser
I
behavior. It's literally a loser's mentality, which is the opposite of what these people are saying. They're saying that we have losers' mentalities because we stick with our team and we're loyal. Like, how could it be fun to 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 do that? Now this kid's gonna be a Chiefs fan forever because Mahomes is good when he's 7. You're an asshole. The
it's like
7-year-old's an asshole.
when they're like root for players, not teams. And I'm like, you know who a lot of people have rooted for as a player? Deshaun Watson. So like what happens when he goes and gets 22 sexual assault accounts? They just don't have a rooting interest. Are they just gonna become
Right.
and look, you
Well,
can love Patrick Mahomes. If you're a 12-year-old kid and you're like, I play with Madden, and you're a loser if you use the Chiefs Madden. But like I love if they're like, I love Patrick Mahomes and he's just awesome, you can
of
support
course, but not
of course.
12,000 of them in the stadium. And it's like in Jersey, right? Of course, you go to a Chiefs game. There should be they should hang Patrick Mahomes' face. They should paint it on every wall. There should be murals everywhere. Seriously, in Kansas City. But also, if you were a Chiefs fan in like 2002, to the point about people telling us, "Oh, why you want a life of misery?" Bullshit. You don't know what's going to happen in the future. What the next franchise is going to be. The Jets could be great for the next 25 years. It could be tomorrow. It could start and they could just have a dynasty for 25 years. It probably won't happen. But the same thing with the Chiefs. If you were a Chiefs fan in 2004, you're like, all right, I don't want to make my son a Chiefs fan. I don't want to do that to him. Yeah, look what would have happened. Now your son's going to be hate you even more. He's going to become a male stripper because you didn't want him to be a Chiefs fan.
The guy at the game that was in the Jet jersey and his kid, he's an absent father. You could tell. He wasn't around a lot. He definitely was unhinged. He was swiping a ton. And he
Doing
was
a
like
good math.
45. He was not if you're 45 and listening, that's fine. But he was it was pretty aggressive. But the environment was great. The LED lights are an awesome ad for the night games. And
The uniforms are the best.
I mean, they're so good. And the
They're the
helmet
new
and logo.
uniform. They got to be the new ones. They're just so good. Like if this came out 4 years ago, we had the graphic with Darnold and Herndon and Jamal. Was Jamal
Yeah.
in that? Yeah, Quincy. Who else was in that graphic? Trying to think of
Robbie.
ex-Jet players. Robbie, Chosen.
Is
Sorry,
that
excuse me.
that what it's at now?
I think
Yeah.
it's Robbie Chosen now, not Chosen Anderson. It was Chosen Anderson. He had a touchdown 2 weeks ago.
I'm happy we did this today, not last night. I got home at like 1 a.m. because I tried to call you on the way home, and you're like, I
I
just
didn't want to
can't.
talk. I didn't want to. I was so mad, dude. It's just like it's the biggest pet peeve I have of my favorite thing in the world, and it just keeps happening, and it's so fucking annoying. It makes me like the word I always come back to is unjust. It's like something in the world that there's just no justice and it doesn't matter. Like it happened, it can't happen, but it happened, and then there's nothing you could do about it, and it just sucks. Like lose. We've been watching the Jets lose for so many years. That's fine. We buy in, we convince ourselves this is the year, this is the team, which is fun. That's what being a fan is. It's awesome. It's the best thing ever. And then for it to be taken away by something that is not right is sick. Sick. It's fucked up.
We used to
Injuries and penalties. Get them off the thing.
we used to live in a society. Men used to go to war, and now they're ruining NFL games. It's not great. What else do we have? I tweeted that Jackson Mahomes and Brittany Mahomes went at it during the kiss cam.
You did?
Yeah, I said Brittany Mahomes and Jackson Mahomes just got shown in the MetLife kiss cam. They just went in all caps. They went at it, and it's just one guy was like, "I'm at the game that never happened." I'm like, "All right, dude."
Thanks, dude. Yeah, thanks. Brittany Holmes not making out with her husband's brother at the game.
And I don't care about Taylor Swift. Like, if Taylor Swift is dating athletes, she can go to the game. Obviously, it's the NFL and the media around her makes me hate her for the week and be
Yeah,
like, "You're my number one op," as the kids
and I
say.
don't. Who cares though? And like Ryan Reynolds is at the game. He's objectively much cooler than she is. Like, shouldn't there be a million girls following him around? Like, I don't get it. Why is it such a big deal that
Blake
she's at
Lively better looking than Taylor Swift.
Blake? Like, can you? It's like if, like for for Taylor Swift and Blake Lively to walk into a place, and all the people care about Taylor Swift is insane. It's like if I walked in with Brad Pitt, and everyone's like, "Wow, Mike is here." Doesn't make sense. It's sick. What?
It's
What is happening?
Yeah, and everyone's soft for being afraid of her being there. The only thing that bothered me is I'm like, hey, this is our first Sunday Night Football game in 12 years. Can you make it about us and not
Yeah.
Taylor Swift? My quarterback has an Achilles injury. It's not fun.
2020 in the fourth, they're talking about how many followers Travis Kelsey's gained. I'm like, dude, like,
I
there's like
didn't
8 minutes left in this game. Like, what are we doing? It's
I didn't see
insane.
the broadcast, dude. I'm
Mike
happy I
Tirico's
did.
like, what the fuck?
Mike
He's like, I just want
Tirico.
to gamble on this game.
Mike Tirico's a bad guy. I talk about that anytime his name gets brought up. You know his
Bad dude.
past?
DUI or is that Al Michaels?
No, not that's I think that's Al Michaels. Mike Tirico, like horrific 90s like sexual assault, like horrific, and he just doesn't. They just don't care. And he was. I think he
Yeah.
like did a weird pregame interview with Deshaun Watson, and I remember quote tweeting and saying like, "This is the two war." And a ton of people were like, I knew about they know the story about Mike Tirico, and other people like I had no idea that happened. But I don't like him. Fuck him. Was Collinsworth good?
I like Collinsworth. I think he's knowledgeable. He likes every player, but that's fine. Like, man, this guy is one of the best players in the NFL. It's like anyone.
Dude,
Leo
we need this
Chenal.
therapy. We need this therapy. This is the longest video we've done in a long time.
Yeah, no, we needed it. It was look, it's better than if they lost 34-3. And then Trevor Simeon plays next week. And maybe Zach can salvage something. That was very impressive, Matt. Very, very impressive. I do not give up on players. I gave up on Zach. I was out. I really was. I said we literally need, my direct words 1,000 times were literally anybody else. He's not professional, blah, 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 blah. And he wasn't. But very, very interesting. Because you're right. You said it. If the doomsday scenario was that the Jets lose like 37-20, Zach Wilson's like 21 for 38 with 226 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 picks or something. And they're like, oh, he did enough to play next week. Then you're in like limbo. We wanted to move on from him. This was just better than I could have expected.
It was good. All around good. Mike, before we wrap up, in Denver, we'll talk about that game another time. It's a tougher game than I think people give credit for because you have a Hall of Fame coach and Hall of Fame quarterback. And I don't care how weird things are going right now. At any time, they can put 2 and 2 together. And the Jets need to obviously season, dare I say, on the line. You got to win.
It is.
So,
and look, the Eagles don't look as crazy as usual, but they're still 4-0. And then you got the bye, and it's just a lot of tough games. Like even the Giants game is not going to be easy. Then you have to play the Bills and the Dolphins again.
but why does the NFL have to give us Kansas City, Dallas, Buffalo, Philadelphia? Like that, those are the 4. Like
First 4 to 6 weeks. Would have been different with Rodgers, of course, but yeah, no, it's brutal. But look, the Broncos game, they've been scoring points. They have.
Their defense
They scored 30 points at least twice, but the defense is atrocious. They made Justin Fields look like Dan Marino, and they let up obviously 70 points the week before. So you just hope the Jets offense continues to roll. If the defense played like they did last week, but it's as close to a must win this early in the season as you can get.
Yeah, Mike, I might have breaking news for you. Not in terms of anything Jet related, but I don't think I can go to MetLife again until after the bye week. I want to
was just
watch a game on
watching.
TV. 3 to
Yeah,
4 games start the year at MetLife, and then Philadelphia, which I had a terrible time at the Eagles game in 2021.
I'm definitely going to that game.
We have your birthday the night before.
I know.
And I'm thinking about staying in like a nice hotel in the city, and then I'm
Dude,
thinking,
you should do that. I have a wedding on Friday too. It's gonna be so stupid. It's so stupid.
I was thinking of getting me and the lady, we're not gonna sleep on the couch or like bring an air mat. We'll get a hotel. But then I'm like, hey, on the way home, we could go to the game, or I just can watch on TV like I want to do. So
I think
if I
it's
don't,
420 also, which is kind of helpful for
is it
hangover
a
purposes.
4:20 game?
I'm almost positive it's a 4-something game.
Oh my god, because they're definitely at 4 o'clock in Denver. Let me look real quick.
I'll be home this weekend for the Denver game.
Yeah, we should get together.
Yeah.
Definitely. Your backyard's perfect to watch the games in now. This is important that we're doing this live so that people can.
If you're watching, subscribe.
Yeah, are getting our plan. It is a 4:20. I'm not going. It's a 4:25 game.
Too late.
Too late.
I need that. I'm gonna be destroyed on Sunday.
We're gonna be hungover from the night before.
From two back to back.
3 wedding, your birthday, then the game.
Yeah, Monday's gonna be tough.
You can give my ticket to like your dad.
He doesn't want to go.
If he's staying in the city though that night.
Oh, maybe he'll stay. I'll ask him.
Give it to Miranda. Give it whoever you want.
Yeah.
Like, had fun. We needed it.
All right. Like an exhale. Oof.
All right, let's get back to it. We'll have a good week. I'm happy Sal went at the refs at the game itself, and then
if I was him, I wouldn't be able to control myself. I'd say they're pussies. And you're right. They should have a press conference.
I was thinking about it. If I was Sal there, like headset slammed, and I think I would pick up the pylon and just like launch it, like a MLB coach throwing for first base. I would just
the pylon would be hilarious to throw because it's like weighted weird. It would probably just like come down.
I would tomahawk it across the end zone and then get like that's the type of call that you should get suspended for.
Yeah,
have Ron Middleton coach.
Ron Middleton's
okay,
1-0.
I actually have to go. All right, buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
Jet up.